Hello, everyone. Welcome to my class in Accountancy, Business, and Management. Okay. Um, our subject today is Organization and Management, and the topic is the theories of management. Okay. But before I start, let me make a shout out to all my students of Nakpil. Hello, Nakpil. And also a special shout out to Queen, her name is Queen Verbi Maria. This is the daughter of my student Mejia, Abby Mejia. Happy birthday! And also shout out to all my students of grade 11. What's this? Tolentino. How are you, my dear Tolentino students? And my Amorsolo. Hello, hello, Amorsolo. Ayan nag-shoutout na ako. I cannot really mention all your names. One class contains, one class has 100 plus students. So really, I don't have time for 100 plus students in one class. But anyway, you are here in my heart. Okay? Now let's continue. The theories of management. You will notice that management started since the ancient times. If you will notice the Pyramid of Giza, okay, it's in Egypt. How was it? How was this infrastructure built? Okay, the story tells us that uh, it was constructed for over 10 to 15 years, I think. 10 to 15 years, yes. And it took them 40,000 laborers 40,000 laborers needed to construct this Pyramid of Giza. But it's now a world wonder. Okay? Then we have also the rice terraces of our Ifugao people. See, this is one of UNESCO's wonders also of the world. And during those times, there was no sophisticated machinery yet. I think there was no crane at the time. So they did it manually. The construction was done manually, but the time, or the efficiency was not yet that much because of the absence of technology. But today, the evolution of management also is a big factor in the change of time. Okay. So now let's start with the scientific management theory. When we speak of scientific management theory, it deals with the use of scientific principles, okay? Scientific methods in in managing. What are this? They focused on the importance of improving labor in the production process. Okay, and then their main focus was to increase efficiency. Okay, to increase efficiency, and so that they would be able to increase the production, the workers' production, and because of this, they would be able to increase also the production process, and it would give efficiency in the process. This was scientific management theory was pioneered by our was this Frederick Winslow Taylor. He is known as the father of scientific management. He introduced the four principles of scientific management as follows. Number one, he replaced the rule of thumb. What do you mean by rule of thumb? When we speak of rule of thumb, it is a general rule based on the practice or experience rather than facts or scientific evidence. Kaya pag sinabing rule of thumb, yung you use your experiences. You, in applying what is the best in making management decisions. You do not use scientific data. You use the rule of thumb. You use only your experiences. But well, this is also good, but not as much as good when you use the scientific data in making your decisions. Okay, well, the replacement of the rule of thumb with the use of scientifically proven methods. And number two, select, train, develop each worker based on scientific methods. Okay, so We use the scientific method and introduce this to our workers. Number three, cooperate with the workers to ensure that scientific measures or methods are being observed and implemented in their work. Ma'am, when we say scientific method, ano yan? Ito yung mga proven ways, okay? Proven methods of making your things easier, more efficient, okay? Then we have divide the work between managers and workers to ensure that the managers apply the scientific management principles in planning the tasks, and the workers should apply these principles in the performance of their tasks. So that is the scientific management theory. Then also Taylor emphasized on the motion, time and motion study. What is time and motion study? That means this is a technique wherein a job is divided into component parts, okay? And the time consumed in each task is measured. So see, there is now time and motion study, meaning uh, in every in every task there is already a corresponding amount of time that you should consume for each task. Okay? So time and motion study. Then another example of this is the use of Henry Ford model, Ford Model T. This is when you know the Henry Ford, the production of Ford cars. Okay, according to Henry Ford, he used this Model T, and with the use of this innovation, he was able to reduce assembly time for the Model T from 13 hours to 1.5 hours. What did Henry Ford introduce? Henry Ford introduced the assembly line method. And what is assembly line method? That is the manufacturing process where product parts undergo consecutive workstations as they get assembled into a final product. So what do you mean by workstations? For example, in the production of the Ford cars, okay, there is a workstation for every part of production. Like they would produce the tires. Well, there is a workstation specific only for the tires. If they would produce the whatever part of the car, for example, the what are the different parts of the car? Maybe I'm not so into cars, okay, but for example, they would now go into as the manibela. What is that manibela? Okay, yes, there is also a workstation for that. So meaning assembly line method. That's a scientific way of producing. Because of this method, they were able to save time. And if you can save time, that means you are also saving a lot of money in the production process. And they were able to, the Ford company said that they were able to sell their products, their cars, to their employees because of the reduced cost in the production process. See, the use of scientific method reduce the cost of the production. Then we have the administrative management theory. Well, the leader in the scientific management theory, one of whom was Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol focused on the overall management of the organization. So when we speak of administrative, this means we are emphasizing the role of managers as administrators in the organization. What did Henry Fayol introduce to management? He introduced the five functions of management and the 14 principles of management. What are these? The five functions of management, according to Henry Fayol, are planning, organizing, communicating, coordinating, and controlling. And then he also introduced the 14 principles of management. I think I'll discuss that. Okay, here, the 14 principles the 14 principles of management according to Henry Fayol. Number one, we have the division of work. What what is division of work? Well, that is the specialization of tasks. Okay, specialization of responsibilities or work with specific duties and and responsibility to each individual. Okay, and then the authority and responsibility, that is the delegation of work. Okay, the delegation of work and tasks to the employees. Okay, so that they exercise their tasks responsibly and with specialization. Then we have the discipline, that is that there should be and clear set of rules, and violators of rules are punished. Okay, then the unity of command. What is unity of command? An employee should report only to one supervisor. Okay, then the unity of direction. This means that all the efforts of the employees are guided toward the attainment of the objective of the organization. So all the employees are only directed towards one goal. Then we have predominance of the general interest of the organization over the individual interest of the employees. So the objectives of the organization must come first over the objectives of each individual, over the interest of the individual employees. Then the remuneration of efforts. Okay, the remuneration of efforts, what is that? Yes. The remuneration of the efforts of employees should be systematically rewarded in line with the organization's vision and mission. Okay, so the payment or the salaries or the wages of the employees should be in accordance with what they have done, with their efforts. Okay, then the centralization, where the roles of managers are clarified with emphasis on the distinction between superior and subordinate roles. Okay, then the scalar chain. What is a scalar chain? That means communication should be open within the chain of command. And what is order? Order is the organization of jobs and materials must be done in an orderly fashion. Then we have equity. That means fairness and order must be practiced to maintain employee commitment. Stability and tenure of personnel. That means to actively promote employee loyalty to the organization. They are secured of their posts. Okay? They are stable in their jobs. Initiative to encourage employees to act on their own in support of the organization's objectives. So, employees are also given their own initiative. Then, esprit de corps. What is esprit de corps? Well, that means to promote teamwork and unity of interest between the employees and the management. So, that is Max Weber, okay? Max Weber, also a German sociologist, uh, introduced the public administration and bureaucracy. According to him, bureaucratic structures allow for specialization of skills and enable workers with different skills and traits and goals to work together and contribute toward performing a common task. So now um, let's go to human relations theory. Okay, let's go back. The human relations theory. When we speak of human relations theory, this means the need for, was this, focusing on the social element of the workplace and considers the influence of whom? The influence of interpersonal relationship. So we are talking here of people relation, social conditioning, group norms, interpersonal relationships in determining the performance of workers. So in this theory, was this that they were able already to set the number of hours of work of each employee, because earlier, if you will notice during the early years, I think in this uh if you will see in the industrial revolution, um People were working for 12 hours, even lengthy hours. But this is not good for was this for the human development. Okay, they considered the 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 amount of work, the amount of number of time an employee should be able to work in a company, in a factory or whatever, because you have to consider their health, you have to consider their humanity, their being a person, their dignity. Okay, so they were able to set a number of work hours. They were also able to put break times. Okay, break times, or break time for workers to have a snack, to have a was this a nap, or maybe a time for them to eat. And then they were also able to improve the lightings, okay, the lightings in their work areas. And also, there was a close supervision by managers to the subordinates or to the workers, so that they would be able to support these workers in whatever process they are undergoing in the factory, or whatever uh, part of the process. And also, they noticed that with the improvement, with the number of hours work, with the work time for break time, and the time for was this beautiful or good lighting conditions, the efficiency of the people improved. Because of the efficiency improved, the overall productivity also improved a lot. And then we also have here Abraham Maslow. According to Abraham Maslow, man has hierarchy of needs. Okay, I think this is here. Yeah, this is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He mentioned in his study that people has one, two, three, four, five needs. Okay, five needs to be satisfied, so that this would guarantee maximum performance. Okay, according to him, we should give the physiological needs of people. What are these physiological needs? Physiological needs means the basic food, clothing, and shelter. Okay, food. Then we have the safety needs. The safety needs of the people, okay, until it reaches to higher needs, like the need to belong, the need to be loved, and the next level is the self-esteem needs, and next is the self-actualization needs. And according to Maslow, if we will be able to provide the needs of these people, they will be able to produce, they will be able to was this give their best, their maximum performance in the work. Then we go to the administrative theory. Then we have the human relations theory. We have discussed that. Then the theory X and the theory Y. What is the theory X and the theory Y? Well, these are opposite. Was this when we speak of theory X and theory Y? This was developed by Douglas MacGregor. According to Douglas MacGregor, these theories are both opposites. Okay, these two theories are opposites. I mean, theory X tells us that um, it is an authoritarian and pessimistic style of management. Okay, authoritarian and pessimistic. The employees are less passionate because of the type of management that they have, and this happens mostly in big companies with thousands of employees. Okay, so this is quite difficult to manage. Okay, kasi because of the number of employees that they need to manage. However, Theory Y is the exact opposite. It is a participative and optimistic management style, wherein the managers and the employees work hand in hand. They participate, they cooperate. Okay? They are optimistic in this management style. People are willing, or the employees are willing to collaborate in the tasks. Usually, this happens in small companies, okay, where there are only few employees and it is easy to manage. Okay. So that's the theory X and Y. Then we have the quantitative management theory. So when we say quantitative management theory, this uses what? Statistical analysis, computer simulations, okay, for them to arrive at management decisions. So medyo this is more complicated because they need data. They need quantitative data to support their decisions. Okay, the two main branches of quantitative management are management science and operations management. Okay, so medyo ano to, they use quantitative data, they gather the past, the present, and projected data from external and internal sources so that they could use this information in making alternatives, making management decisions. Okay, so they use the input. Okay, there is a system. There are four elements that they follow in this systems. That's quantitative. Yes, quantitative only. So now we go to the systems theory. When we speak of systems theory, well, it shows how interrelated parts operate together. So yung the how the how is the relationship of different parts to operate as one, okay? To operate together to achieve a common purpose. So, what are the four elements of the systems theory? Number one, the inputs. So, what are there in the inputs? Maybe the materials and the human resources. Number two, the transformation processes. That is the technology employed or the managerial operations used. And number three, we have the outputs. Ano yung outputs? The products or the services. And then number four, we have the feedback. What is feedback? This is the reaction from the environment. Okay? So we have the open system and the closed system. When we say open system, this is an organization that interacts closely with its environment and is fully aware of what is going on in the environment as well as the changes it experiences. However, yung closed system natin, it does not interact with its environment and pays little attention to changes in the surroundings. So that's it. The systems theory. Then we go to the contingency theory. What is a contingency theory? Contingency theory says that the universal theories are not applicable to these organizations. Why? Because it tells us that in contingency theory, uh, organizations are unique from each was this organization. Ibig sabihin, one organization is very much unique that you cannot apply universal theories here. Okay. They have unique characteristics. They have different, varied problems or challenges, which is very much different from the other organizations. Kaya, they employ unique styles also in managing. So according to Fred Fiedler, the contingency model states that the personality of the leader determines how well he or she will address the situation in the workplace. Okay, so that's it. Uh, this requires was uh, this requires a different type of leadership because it tells us that what is true to A may not be true to B. So not there is no perfect solution for every organization. There is no one solution to all organizations. Okay, so now we go to quality management theory. When you speak of quality management theory, we are talking here of what? Consistency. We are emphasizing consistency in an organization and minimal or no errors at all. They are very much particular with the quality. Quality. Okay? So this ensures quality products and services that result to higher customer satisfaction with because the customers are satisfied, there is an increased revenue. Okay? Managers and employees are both closely involved in quality management. So, okay, you will notice during the war, after World War II, I mean, Japan was into production, okay? But but due to this war, they needed to evolve their production of services and materials or resources. What did they do? They employed a was this Kaizen method. What is a Kaizen method? I think I have introduced it here. Okay, yeah. The Kaizen method is a Japanese concept which focuses on the continuous improvement of people, processes, and products. Okay? So, a continuous, was this continuous improvement of people, processes, and products. So that is Kaizen. Kaizen in a Japanese word means change for the better. Okay, change for the better. And it requires what? Implementation of gradual changes in the industry or organization over a certain period of time. So when we speak of again quality management theory, it talks about improving product design, improved service, uniform product, okay, quality product, improved product testing, and increased market sales. And because there is increased market sales, of course, there is an increase in revenues. Okay. So, what is this Kaizen all about? Okay. The Kaizen is, they have five principles. So, number one, Seiri means to sort. To sort. Seiton, to set in order. Seiso, to shine. Siketsu, to standardize. Chitsuke, to sustain. So, what does this mean? This means that when you are producing something, first you have to sort out things. What do you mean by sorting? Put uh put things put the same things together. Okay? You do not put all things all together, but you have to separate them, to sort them according to function, according to use, or whatever it is that you need to sort. Okay? Then Satan, meaning to set it in order. Okay, so there is orderliness. Orderliness. Hindi sa atin halo-halo, di ba? So we put everything in order. I remember my father once, when we were young, we have a printing press. My father's business is a printing press. So meaning he has tools in the production room. His tools, you cannot take it just I mean, you can borrow it, yes, but you have to put them in proper place after using it. Because, for example, scissors, a very, very, very good example, a pair of scissors. You cannot use these scissors if you will not return it properly. So there is only one place for every tool. So everything is in order. Say so, meaning to shine, meaning cleanliness. Okay, when I worked in a certain private company long time before we leave our office, we have to see to it that our place is shining, meaning clean. So there are the documents are in properly the documents are properly placed. All the things are kept. The tools that I use should be put in proper order. What are the tools? Maybe the stapler, the scissors, the ball pen, whatever it is that you use, they should be clean. Your desk must be clean before you leave your office. Then siketsu, to standardize. Meaning, what do you mean by standardize? There is a standard for everything. For example, you produce this thing. For example, you are producing this type of pen. There is a standard way of producing thing. If you fall below the standard, then that will be qualified as a reject. Okay? So you follow a certain standard so that all your products and services will be good enough, will be qualified in the quality control. And then we have the shitsuke, to sustain. What do you mean by shitsuke? Meaning to sustain. If you did this today, For example, you cleaned your table, your desk every day. It should be you should be cleaning your table not only on one day, on day one, but it should be every day of your life in your work. Okay? So you sustain your work. You do it every day, not only on day one, but continuously. Okay. So that's it. Now, I have prepared here an exercise for. I think we will only try to answer the questions by multiple choice. Okay. This is not very difficult because I have discussed the different theories of management and I want you to answer them during our Google Meet. Okay. So that I think this is number one. Okay. Number two. Okay. Then we have number three and number four. Okay. Number five and number six. 7 and 8, number 9, 10, 11 and 12, 13 and 14, okay, 15 and 16. Okay, thank you very much and God bless us all. When we meet in our Google Meet, okay, when we meet in our Google Meet, we will discuss I made it multiple choice so that in one problem you can discuss four issues. Okay, we can discuss why answer A is not correct, why answer B is correct, why answer C is not correct, and why answer D is not correct. So in this type of question, we are hitting four birds or four birds in one stone. Okay, so again, thank you very much and God bless us all.